All right. So, I want to talk just a little bit about something I've seen a lot of in the autistic community, something that I've done a lot of, and it revolves around resenting neurotypicals. So, two things. Number one, it's never fair to label an entire group of people with some sort of generalization. But I do believe that generalizations are there for a reason, and there's enough autistic people who experience burnout and really just resent neurotypical. So I don't think it really does it justice to take the high road and be like, well, not everyone's the same. But there's enough people this way to make it an issue for autistic people. And I think the resentment comes from unfair treatment. I think unfair treatment's very common, and oftentimes I think the neurotypicals treating someone unfair, they're not even consciously aware they're really doing it. At least they don't understand the impact it has. They don't understand autistic burnout. They don't understand how it is to be neurodivergent. They don't understand what's going on with the autistic individual. So I'm just going to try to lay out in hopefully some sort of coherent way how I begin to resent people and what it does to me. So to begin, these are kind of cycles. There's times where I want to meet people, and then I get sick of people and don't want anything to do with people, and so on and so forth. So this is not always me, but this has been me a lot, where I feel that people kind of give each other more grace than myself. That is, other people are able to do things, and if I do the same thing, it's a problem when I do it. In the end, it's just not fair. I don't really want to go into the details, but a lot of autistic people have a strong sense of justice, and right then and there, when you see this happening to you all the time, it's frustrating. It's frustrating because most of the time, this is because of intuition, emotion. You're not the same as them, and really, I think a lot of things go on in the background, in the subconscious, and they're just so used to just going along with it that it just seems right to them. You know, intuition. It's intuitive almost to be rude to autistic people. A lot of neurotypicals don't even need to know you're autistic to know you're different. Of course you don't. I don't know if telling them you're autistic would help because, again, it just seems like you're stuck. Because either they don't know I'm autistic, but they see I'm weird, so they treat me like shit because I'm not like them, or I tell them I'm autistic, and then they infantilize me, because infantilization has been linked to traits of being dehumanized. Oftentimes, the infantilization is not actually what you are. You're being simplified, approximated as a child, and a lot of times it's just because, again, you're not like them. So it just leads to a lot of things, because, you see, I don't get to act myself. There are certain expectations that you need to stick to, and oftentimes when I'm talking to somebody, it's not me just talking. I gotta plan out everything. There's no autopilot. So as I'm talking to somebody, I'm thinking about what I have to say next. And God forbid, when that happens, sometimes I amalgamate two words together, and it just goes, ugh. It's like, ugh, he talked wrong. He didn't enunciate right. And it's just like, to me, so what? But at the same time, I'm trying. Like, if you had my internal dialogue right now, you'd realize I'm not just blankly going about this. There is so much going on to try to accommodate you. So much going on. And granted, a lot of it's just so I don't get the backlash. It's not a selfless thing, but it's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort to go and talk to people sometimes, just because it's just constant masking, constantly trying to be something you're not. And in the end, you feel like you just get judged for not being them. When you look at it over and over, it's like, why? Why are you just the model of what I should be? Because oftentimes, I mean, I get judged by people who just don't have their shit together in any way. They don't. Like, if you, look at ability and things on paper, okay, in so many ways, I am better at this, but I am awkward. I don't really have a sort of way to carry myself confidently like a lot of neurotypicals. So with that, there just comes judgment. And it just gets so old. It gets so old. At a certain point, like, I don't even want to go to the grocery store if there's greeters. Because I'm supposed to say hi to the greeter, and it's not just hi. You gotta say hi to the greeter and do it with the right facial expressions, or else they're gonna look at you like you're weird, just like... I mean, I've gotten that so many times where I just say hi, and they don't like my hi. They don't like the way I'm saying it. It's just like, it's so forced to be like neurotypicals all the time, that eventually it's just like, well, fuck all you guys. You're not so great anyways, because you don't think things through, you often take what's best for you and forget about other people, you're the main character all the time, and, well, what else can you do than socialize? Because sometimes that just seems like all people do. I look at people like lemmings, eventually, like, these are just animal instincts, you're a bunch of ducks quacking at each other. Like, why am I supposed to be like you? It's like, can't we be like yin and yang, somewhat? You guys could do your thing, I do my thing, maybe we could work together in a way. I think they're the dark side of it, to be honest. I think a lot of the bad traits that we see in human beings tend to belong to neurotypicals, and I do need to step back and say, not everyone, but oftentimes it just seems like the fact that neurotypicals function more so off autopilot leads to a lot of these more instinctual, animalistic behaviors that are just kind of selfish. Especially if you're not in the in-group of the neurotypical, and you're not if you're different most of the time. I could think of so many times where it's just like, somebody who I'm with on a trip is just putting me in a box the whole time. You know, they know me better than myself, basically. And it's frustrating. Because if you turn around and try to explain to somebody else why they act the way they do, it's just like, yeah, like, you can get me. Because so many times I've been around people and they give each other these looks when I do something. Like, haha, like, you know, it's just, like, I don't notice facial expressions. And a lot of autistic people don't, but there's just some aspect of me and my humanity that just gets overlooked, I feel like. Constantly. It's just, I don't think they really realize the damage they're doing. And so I try to forgive them for it, but at the same time, it's just like, this is a problem. This is a problem. They don't mean it. Not everyone's this way, but there's so many people this way, and so many autistic people online who have the same sort of experiences with neurotypicals not giving fair treatment, that we begin to resent society. I just, like, one time I gave a friend a compliment for his music. I was like, oh, this is a cool song. I was like, it's definitely different, and I labeled it. I was like, it kind of sounds like a little bit of thrash with some punk and this and that. He's just like, it's kind of annoying, you need to categorize everything. And it's just like, you've been putting me in a box nonstop. Nonstop, man. And I can't categorize your songs. It's just because I was saying it. It's not because I said anything wrong, it's because I was saying it. And it's just like, I could describe a song as sounding kind of like something. It's just being pretentious. And that's what I feel like I get a lot of pretentious attitudes. Just not being like somebody. So what it ends up doing is, yeah, I feel ashamed of myself eventually. I do. And then that shame hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, and then eventually I'm just like, look at all this unfair treatment. I don't want any more to do with it. I don't want to put in the time of juggling what I'm going to say and how to answer and how to not offend you and how to look at you right and this and that. I don't want to. So, you know, the greeters at the stores, in these times, I just walk by them. I feel kind of bad because I feel like I'm just like, I don't know, I don't want somebody to feel like they're useless, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, if I say hi to you, I just make you feel awkward. I don't want to say hi, you don't want me to say hi, I'm just going to move on. And this is just a random example. When I get in the depths of it, I do not even want to say hi to somebody. I don't. Because I know that I'm not going to do it in the way they're expecting. So, two things to finish off. We need to be able to be ourselves. I think that would help us a lot. A lot. You got to understand that not everybody is the same. Not everybody is trying to follow the latest trends. Not everybody is trying to do the socially acceptable thing when it comes to lying, doing these white lies all the time, stuff like that. It gets exhausting to us, and half the time, I just try not to talk. That's a problem to them. That's a fucking problem. It's like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. What do you want me to do? Well, I'm gonna go isolate. So, basically, if we're just allowed to be ourselves a little bit more, I think we would have a huge weight lifted off our shoulders. Okay. I had another point, but I forgot it. Shoot, let me drink some coffee real quick. Oh, yeah, I can't remember. I had something else, but whatever. I don't feel like re-recording anything. Basically, I think that we need to be treated more fairly. And with that, I think that in the end, we'll just not resent people so much. That's all. It's just like, I don't know how to make people understand me. I don't think they need to, but I think people just need to understand that there's just, I think neurodivergence in general is just poorly understood by people. So, in the end, I think it makes sense why so many autistic people resent neurotypicals. Do I think that we should take the high road? I don't know if it helps us to resent, but it doesn't seem to help us by looking over the issue. So I think that if you don't like people, there's a good reason for it. If you like to isolate, there's usually a good reason for it. Even autistic people want to have friends. The only reason that most people don't want to be around people is because of some form of abuse in their past. So it does kind of form an abusive relationship because the neurotypicals tend to have all the power for some reason. So, majority rules. And it's just not inclusive enough for different types of people that just don't think the same. That's all I do. I just don't think the same. I have a different perspective, and that should be a good thing, not a bad thing.